Good morning. It's Sunday, August. Looking at my calendar here. It's the 6th. Tomorrow's new moon. The moon was looking pretty full last night. And I just got back from feeding my neighbor's dog and her chickens and letting them out. They're gone for a week, so I go over there a few times a day and take care of the chickens and the dog. And it's a beautiful morning. It is like 59 degrees out. It's crazy cool for August. I am loving it. The only thing that is a concern is that we haven't had much rain in quite some time, in maybe a month and a half or so. It looks like there's going to be some rain coming up this week, which is going to be interesting because we have kids camp again. But it'll be what it'll be. I made another new piece yesterday for the Baba Yaga's Garden series. And this one is Baba and her trees. So I've got all the leaves, most of the leaves from the kinds of trees that I have around. I have two kinds of oaks. I have redbud, Japanese maple, dogwood. That is hickory, and then the pine cones and some of the pine sprouts. And then I found these little mushrooms growing, and I put those on there. I actually made two exposures of this one. This is the more correct exposure. The first one wasn't quite long enough, and I'll show you. I didn't bring it out yet. And maybe I'm thinking I may tone this one. I don't know. Tea tone it or coffee tone it might be interesting too. But let's see here. So you can see the difference, how this one is more faded. This one has more texture and detail in it than this one does. But this one actually isn't too bad. And like I say, maybe I will tone this one in tea or in coffee, and then this one will stay as it is. I'm going to put those over here for now. Actually, I don't mind that one too much, but we'll see. And let's see, I did a little video on my phone coming up to the house I was gonna put on Instagram, and then it turned out I didn't have enough room on my phone and it got all wonky, but the garden's doing okay. When did I last show you the garden? I don't remember. Let me put my shoes on. I might as well do this while I'm at it. And my crazy hair that's growing out, and it's not real humid, so it's got more of a relaxed wave to it. And this, what's up with this curl? I have interesting cowlicks according to the hairstylist. Oh, and I dreamt last night, I dreamt about using some kind of like gel and glittery product and making a unicorn horn on my head. That was like an intense focus in the dream, and I think in the dream I may have been a child. I don't know. It was weird. It began with being in a house in the East Bay Hills in where I used to live, and there being a storm or something. But anyway, check this out. These are long beans, and this is a long bean blossom here. And I've been picking some of these. I put some in my food last night. Here's a little one right here. They get to be about, well, they could get to be longer than 12 inches. I'd pick them at 12 inches. And the jewel weeds are all blossoming. Well, I mean, they don't blossom profusely, but there's quite a few blossoms on the jewel weed out here this morning. Over here, and you can see some over there, and they look like, to me, they look like little tiny orchids. So it's so nice out this morning. It's so nice out this morning that I can wear leggings and long sleeves and not have to completely spray myself with bug repellent. Let's go this way. So there's all the mint. And I don't know when I'm going to start pulling up the Jerusalem artichoke. It has not started blossoming yet, but it might be soon. All the comfrey, I need to pick some of that and use for mulch. Here's oh, you're going over there. Stay over here on these guys here. This is bitter melon, and they're growing kind of delicately, and I think either it's the variety that I first started with, or it's just that they don't get a huge amount of sun out here, but they are growing, and I think I even saw a blossom somewhere. Did I see a blossom? Well, I think these are just like the buds. So we'll see if we get anything like that. I was cutting back bee balm and some feverfew. I've been cutting back a lot of stuff actually. This is my cramp bark putting out some big growth, so I'm hoping that next year it blossoms. It hasn't blossomed yet. And all these guys are going to be this next year. I still can't tell whether they're perennials or biennials, because this one seems like it's been going for a few years now. This rosemary is finally growing better. Oh, now I can feel it's getting hotter out. These hollyhocks are doing well. They won't probably blossom this year. They'll die back and overwinter. There's one of this fig is doing really well. Actually, all the figs are doing okay, but some of them just started from little tiny slips. There's only one that got chewed more, which is that little fella there. And, you know, the tomatoes are still looking really lush. I see other tomato plants around the neighborhood, and they've either died back already or just look really like spindly, and they even may have more sun than mine, and maybe that's the problem. Or maybe, you know, I've done more to the soil, I don't know. I have a choke cherry that is growing here. It's not really doing anything this year. It'll probably not really grow a lot until next year. I got to do something over here. Maybe I'll do pots, because it gets good sun here, but it's really hard to dig. And, you know, everything's doing okay. The zinnias have a lot of mildew on them from humidity, I think. The fennel is doing well there. Those guys just keep going and going. I've got a little morning glory in a pot here, but because it's in a pot, I need to mulch it. It gets dry really quickly. Got a couple of sunflowers that have come up here. I threw in a bunch of seed in here when I took some stuff out. I've got some, it's like, I don't know what that is. It's not baby's breath, but it looks kind of like it. And oh, where is that? Where are they? Oh, they already lost their, these guys were blossoming yesterday. You can see the petals. I had some California poppies. Oh, it makes me homesick. So yeah, some of the rudbeckias dying back, and got some basil still in here. Got a few little new seeds coming up in here, and there's some nigella coming up, and I don't know what else. I just keep throwing seeds in there. Big tall marigolds. The curry squash, Kuri, it's K-U-R-I. Looks like it might be blooming in there. Growing over all my debris. Oh, there's birdies in there. Hey, birdies. Oh, I love it when I see like half a dozen yellow finches all over the sunflowers. And these guys are doing okay. This sorrel has held up really well. This St. John's wort's doing really well. Here's the hibiscus, and I hope it blooms this year and I can pick some so I have my own hibiscus flower. This is going to take some work in here. and it's like I think I mentioned before, some sonic spikes, because I think there are little critters in here that are kind of making holes too close to some of my stuff. Like I've lost a lot of angelica this year, which is kind of sad, because I love the angelica when it puts up its big blooms, but it is what it is, and things will kind of perk up when it gets to be fall. Oh, I had a scare in my house. I had these cracks that I thought were like my foundation was going, but it turned out it wasn't that, and it's just going to be a minor repair. There's my sage. It's doing alright. It's put out a lot of growth. I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with it in the winter, because I don't think it can stay out. This fig is doing pretty well. This is like some kind of raspberry. I don't know, these guys, I've got to really improve some of the soil, feed these guys, because they're not in optimal conditions as far as the light goes. So to kind of make up for that, I want to just make the soil as healthy as possible. And, you know, everything back here is kind of the same. I do have this Tulsi that came up on its own that I'm very happy about, and it's growing nicely right here. So I'll have some Tulsi. And there's another little baby one in there too. It just makes me happy that it came up on its own. And my wild things out here. Bloodroot's still going. The blue cohosh is, it's okay. Here is the black cohosh, and it looks like it's got like seeds on it, which is cool. It has spread, and I have like one mayapple left. But all these things do kind of die back in the wild in the summertime anyway. So I'm not too concerned about that. It's kind of dry. It's been kind of dry, and you can see it. There's my purple shiso keeps going. Now, I should put this pot out front where I was saying out front where I need some pots. Both of these guys could go out there, but I'm going to need some kind of dolly or something to move them around, because these would be like super big and lush if they were in the sunshine. And let's not fall down, trees. I think that's about it. I'm going to make myself some chai this morning. And I think I've shown you this one. I haven't gotten much farther than this on this one. I got to keep going on that one. Oh, and there's my bouquet. I bring one of those in every, I don't know, week, maybe less than a week. But I'm going to make some chai now, and maybe sit outside and sip it. And I hope you all have a lovely Sunday.